Na Nuenya ba 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 ba. Bimba, Rachelsey at the movies. Rachelsey at the as we turn the YouTube button on. I can keep going all day. It's Chelsea at the movies, yay!
Hey guys, we went and saw The Lion King.
Can you guess?
But not the original Lion King. We saw the new Lion King, which at this point, I realized I called it the other day live action. But is this considered live action?
I think
Since
so.
it's, I mean, I know at some point it's video of real animals, but like...
Oh, well, they're not real animals.
CGI.
But, yeah, you know, what is that called? Where they're method actors. Okay. So they live as that.
This was all Daniel Day-Lewis?
Yeah, it's amazing. I cannot believe he could pull that off.
So, The Lion King, if somehow you don't know, is about a lion who's king of like his area of the jungle. So we have like the story, right? Mufasa has a son named Simba who is the heir to the throne.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Mufasa has a brother, a very jealous, dysfunctional brother.
Scar.
Yeah, Scar.
Yeah, it's a really famous cartoon that Disney did maybe 20-ish years ago.
Yeah, Disney had a slew
of classic,
very popular movies back when we were kids.
My personal favorite of all those movies is The Lion King. It's one of my three. If somebody's like, what's your 3 favorite movies, Kelsey? It's one of the 3 favorite movies of Kelsey's entire life. In fact, we own a copy on Blu-ray.
It's 2019, and Disney has decided to have live-action remakes of probably all... I don't know when they're going to stop.
Are they going to do Lilo and Stitch?
I don't know. Like, there's Lilo and Stitch, there's
that was kind of later.
Mulan, there's... I mean, Mulan would be good, right? You could actually, like, make
Pocahontas.
like, a movie. Pocahontas. They might have, like, that might be harder. But, yeah. Anyway.
Little Mermaid, you said that they were doing?
They already cast the Little Mermaid, yes. Back to The Lion King. Go, wait, or skip.
I was really excited about this movie because, like I said, the original is one of my 3 favorite movies of all time. My favorite cartoon of all time. I think it's art. I love it. I love the music. When I was a kid, I used to just listen to the soundtrack and play basketball in my yard. To the entire soundtrack. So, like, anyway, so I was really excited about to be taken into this world, you know, like this live action world. And I think that, like, I like going to see it and all, but I would say to wait to see this movie. Unfortunately, I don't think it captured the heart or soul of the original, and I just don't. I thought, like, visually it looked good, but again, like, I really expected to be immersed in this amazing experience, this story that I've grown up with, and it didn't quite do it for me.
Can you remember a movie recently where we said, oh, you have to see this at the theater, like on the big screen in IMAX? I remember saying those words. I can't remember what movie it was. Just to point out that that is a movie. We did recently see a movie where we, like, that was the advice we gave. And yet, with this movie, not the same advice.
You can watch this on your
laptop. Which is, like, surprising, yeah. So,
which was disappointing to me.
I am also going to say wait, but I also might say wait/skip only because this movie didn't do anything new. So I feel like if you just wanted to be like, oh, like, I'm kind of intrigued by, like, live action remake of The Lion King, well, then just watch the trailer and you'll get that and you're done. Like, there's not anything, like, else in the movie that I'm like, oh, yeah, you should really see this, because guess what? Like, everything's better in the original, you know? I mean, the best thing in this movie was Timon and Pumbaa, and they were way better in the original. Like,
yeah, I mean, I prefer the original cast.
Spoilers.
Spoiler la la, spoiler la 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 la.
So in this movie, Nala dies.
Yeah, well, and Simba's the one that killed her, just flat out murder her.
I will say that some of the stuff that happens, like when Mufasa dies, has a little bit of a different feel when it looks like real animals, you know?
Yeah,
and when they talk about the Circle of Life, had a little bit different feel when it's real animals.
I think that, like, what the movie did well is the live action animal stuff, and
yeah, I don't have any complaints. I'm also not, like, over the moon about it.
Well, it's they did a good job. It's 2019, and so we've already lived in a world for a decade now where they've been doing this, at least. And so, like, I feel like if this movie came out 10 or 15 years ago, you'd be like, that was so amazing! But it's not. It came out today, and so I've seen this already on the big screen, and so other than that, I didn't particularly think that anything else stood out to me. I think Donald Glover did a good job in portraying Simba. Obviously, they had James Earl Jones be Mufasa because there's the tie-in there. It's the same. But I just thought that whatever I described it to when we were leaving the movie, I was like, if you go see a play and you see a play and like everybody hits their marks, everybody remembers all their lines, and the play, they go through the play and everything works, nothing happens during the play otherwise that isn't normally expected to happen, but something is just missing in the performance, and that is what usually you don't see in movies because they have as many takes as they want in movies theoretically. But in this movie, that's what it felt like. Just like it just didn't have.
It felt like everybody came in,
read
did their
lines.
voiceover, like, in their sound booth, read the lines exactly how they were instructed to read them.
Had no
and that was
heart.
It didn't have heart. You said it didn't capture the magic that the original one was able to capture.
Yeah, and I thought to be successful, it had to both do that and be maybe even more to be a super great movie. But instead, it didn't even capture the original magic, and then obviously didn't do anything more. And I think that probably the director, Jon Favreau, I think his name, Favreau, he actually did the original Iron Man. We talked about this, and plays Happy in the Marvel Universe. So he's in the nice Star Wars movie. The story I make up is that he's really excited to do Lion King, but Lion King is Disney's biggest asset, probably, as far as all those movies go. And probably, creative people to get in there, they're like, I want to do this, and the studio's like, well, no, you can't do this because we have to stick to the Lion King. We have to stick to this script that we have, this movie that we have. And sometimes when you have those two things pulling, what you get is a lifeless, soulless effort, which is basically this movie. I'm overstating a little bit. I didn't hate this movie. I love The Lion King. I love all the little songs. I enjoyed laugh sometimes during the movie and stuff, but like it just was missing like the pop that made the original Lion King so special, and why the original Lion King, if you go back and watch it, it stands the test of time, even though the animation is completely different. It's old school cartoon stuff that we don't see anymore, but it's still like a work of art in the same way that Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band is a work of art.
Yeah. I just think that if you are going to remake something, you need to have something to say. Remake something just for the sake of remaking it, it doesn't make any sense to me. I think that it's pointless. Clearly, this made a lot of money, so it wasn't pointless for Disney. But, like, for me, it was pointless. Like, it just seemed like either whoever, like, wrote it, like, created this, decided to do this, didn't have anything to say, or they had something to say and they weren't allowed to say it. I don't know what it was, but you need to have a viewpoint. You need to have an angle. You need to have a reason for why you're doing, like, what you're doing. And I felt the same way about Aladdin. What I liked more about Aladdin is that, like, I thought it was easier because it was human beings who can, like, show expression and you can connect with. It's really hard to connect with animals, you know what I mean? Like, and they're real animals. Like, you can connect with animated animals because they're personified. But this was real animals, and I don't know, like, they're just not showing a lot of facial expressions and stuff like that.
I connected most with the baby animals who were precious. Like Baby Pumbaa, when he tells the story.
Okay.
He's like,
did the original Lion King talk about breaking wind that much?
Well, but he didn't rhyme in the, okay. Yeah, they didn't rhyme the fart. Like, he didn't say that. He stopped.
Oh,
and they said something else, and in this one, he says it. He's like, aren't you going to stop me? That was like
that was
I did a riff off that. They did little stuff like that. It was cute and
but like all the good songs were the same songs from the original movie. They had some new songs, but like they weren't as good.
Well, even they had the same songs, but I feel like the original songs were better.
The way they were performed was better.
The way they were performed, the way they were sung,
they even took the original songs, re-performed them, and they weren't as good.
I feel like the casting was all wrong in this movie, or between people, the chemistry in the cast. Like, I feel like it just wasn't there. Maybe you got all these big stars and all this talent, but like together they didn't.
I was like, did the people you cast like care about this movie?
Did they know each other?
Were they excited about The Lion King?
It didn't seem like
They didn't seem like they were excited about The Lion King or they cared about it, and I feel like it came through in the film. Because
maybe Danny Glover was. I feel like he stood out to me as one of the more difficult roles to play, because Matthew Broderick was really great in the original, but he did really good in this movie, and I thought it was a good performance. But other than him, I was kind of like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
What saved, like, Timon and Pumbaa was that I felt like the humor, so like the way they wrote the script for them, that humor still came across. But yeah, it just was kind of just a little boring.
And even those, so like the two people that played in this one versus the old one, they did a good. I thought out of like the rest of the cast, they did a pretty good job. It's just that the original. So I also thought the people that played the hyenas weren't as like the hyenas were funny in the original.
Yeah, and
remember Ed? He was just crazy and like it wasn't like that. It was just kind of there were some funny parts, but it wasn't as funny or as good as the original. And I'm like, why wouldn't you? People are so funny today. Like things progress usually, and we have all this talent. You had Seth Rogen there, who's really popular and talented, and you had people you could bring whoever you could have brought whoever you want into this movie as the comedy, and like I don't feel like they did that. I don't know what happened. What happened over there at Disney?
Remember when we saw the movie Alpha?
Yeah. Well, I only partially saw that because I didn't have my glasses.
Okay. Well, that movie I didn't think was like super great, but visually, like it was beautiful.
Which I will never know.
So beautiful. That's a recent movie, so all I'm saying is that that's what I expected from The Lion King.
Yeah, it was just...
I thought I was going to go in and I was going to be really, like, wowed by, like, you're taking, like, you're making The Lion King, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they did that with the Alpha movie, and yet this movie, it just really wasn't even that beautiful. Even when, like, Simba goes off to where Timon and Pumbaa live, which is considered, like, supposed to be, like, really beautiful. There's waterfalls and stuff. It was just like fine, you know? Like I feel like they just missed like the mark on, I don't know what they were trying to do. Like,
what you doing, Disney?
Were you trying to make a beautiful, like visually overpowering movie? Because you didn't. And then clearly you weren't trying to say anything new with the script, you know? So like, I don't know what you're trying to do.
Yeah. So if you can see, I'm still emotionally disappointed. Because I was so excited. I sung Lion King songs all day. I'm sure even my neighbors could hear me. I was like, oh, this is going to be so fun. We had a really busy day. And I was like, I'm going to get to Lion King, you know, and watch Lion King. And it was just like, I mean, I didn't hate it, but I was like, oh.
And we were even a tad, like, late.
When I walked in, before I could see the screen, it was like, Nanyuenya.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, we got here just in time.
Yeah, like, it had just started. But, like, I wasn't disappointed, like, I was like, oh, I guess it could have been, like, 15 minutes late. Who cares? Like, that's how I feel about the movie. Yeah. You know? Yeah. So we'll have to watch the original Lion King soon.
On a happier note, I think that we can all agree that Rachelsey the movie is just knocking it out of the park. Okay? There will be no remake of this because who could remake such an amazing review of the second Lion King? Can't be done, I say. And so we thank you so much for your likes, comments, and subscribes. It helps the channel grow, and we appreciate you.
Thanks, guys.
Adios.
You want to roar? Okay.
What about you? I like when he's little. He's like,